All right, good evening. Welcome to the Conservation Commission meeting for December. In watching some other meetings, I noticed that most of the other committees do like a roll call at the beginning of the meeting, just for us to kind of let people know who we are. So I figured we could incorporate that in. So I guess I'm going to kind of do that as part of the calling the order of the meeting here. So, meeting, if we can just start with you and just say your name.
Jane Wilkerson.
Thomas Oldberg.
Barrington.
Dave Fowler. Hunter Dooley. All right, and with that, looks like Margaret isn't here quite yet, so we'll go ahead and start the meeting up. The next thing, which I also pulled from other meetings, which we hadn't been doing, is just voting to approve or amend the agenda for tonight.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
And yeah, if anybody wants to add something to the agenda, like this is kind of a procedural time where we can do that and then still kind of legally like have a discussion about it or whatever. And actually, that reminds me, there is one thing I want to add to the agenda. And geez, should I add it to the agenda? Yeah, I think we should. It's regarding holding like a public meeting where our county forester can present her findings in our town forest, and where Jennifer and I can kind of talk about the forest management plan and get one last round of public input before we kind of send it to the select board to get them to sign off on it. So the thought is either we could reschedule our Concom meeting for January to the end of January, or we could hold a special Concom meeting to sort of accommodate that. But so yeah, we can. I mean, I don't know whether I guess maybe we can like vote to do that at the end, or I'll come back around to it. But that's what it's about. So, assuming everyone is okay with that, is there anything else anyone wants to kind of add to the agenda that's not on there?
Yeah, I second those.
Okay, cool. All right. All in favor of approving the agenda?
Aye.
All right. So next thing is a vote to approve or amend the prior meeting minutes as needed. So I sent those around 2 weeks ago, last week with the agenda. So I don't know if there was anything anyone wanted to add or things we missed or anything like that. No? Okay, then could I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So,
All right. There you go. You want to second it?
Yeah.
All right. All in favor of approving the minutes from last meeting, say aye. Aye. All right. Public comment? Hey, Dad. Doesn't look like it.
he's just gonna unmute himself.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was just saying, hey, I don't know if you had a comment or not, but if you do, go for it. Okay, I'll take that as a no. You can always ask me later. Okay, so reports and updates on existing Concom projects. So the first one is a vote to formally adopt the new mission statement. If you guys want, we can make amendments or little changes to this now before we do it. I don't want to like fully belabor it and make a whole meeting out of it, but I'm just going to go ahead and read it real quick, and just remember that this is a living document. We can change it. This is where we came up with the ranked choice voting. So I think if it's cool with you guys, let's take a vote to just adopt this for now, and if we want to change it, we can. So the mission is to foster a community-driven approach to preserving and enhancing our town's rural beauty, wildlife habitat, and historical and cultural assets in harmony with regional conservation priorities. Everyone feel okay with that?
Sure.
All right, great. Who wants to make a motion to adopt that as our official mission? All right, and second?
I'll second.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Great. Thanks, guys. Nice job. What was that? Okay. So the next thing is the resilient communities recommendation that Ashley and I worked on. Do you feel okay with where we ended on the draft, like in terms of the kind of climate language and stuff?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Ashley drafted this out. I made some kind of tweaks, just to kind of format it in a way that I felt like the select board would sort of expect to see something like this. And we just had one discussion over sort of how much we wanted to lean on climate change stuff when we were talking about this, and we decided to kind of, although it's obviously like it's partially about climate resilience, just in terms of like talking to the select board about it, we just said sort of like natural disasters, climate related stuff, whatever, without sort of talking too much specifically about climate change. So hopefully everyone got a chance to read it. We can, again, like, we can make changes, if people want to discuss it at all, or if everyone feels cool setting this on up, then we can go ahead and just take a vote to do that. So any comments, anything people want to? No? Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think this is gonna be a cool project.
Yeah.
You got, all right, and you got the grant. That's great. Okay, well, so maybe what I'll do then is just add a little addendum into that thing that says, and we got the grant to do this now, and then I will yeah, I guess with a vote, I'll go ahead and send it up to the select board. So do you want to make the motion to do that? Okay. All right, all in favor? Aye. Excellent. So we'll do that. We can, if I send it out tomorrow, we can probably even get it to them for their meeting on Thursday. So I will.
Yeah, I asked her if I could get like 5 minutes and she said, how?
You know what I would do then? I'll send a note to Tara about this. And then assuming that she can sort of get it to the select board and like read it to them. If you want to, you can just go to the meeting, and in the public comment, you can just stand and sort of like, if you want to kind of say your piece about it or speak in support of it, you can. Don't feel obligated to do that. Like, they'll likely, this isn't the cost of anything, so I don't see why they wouldn't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't mean this week, like this Thursday.
Potentially, yeah, I'll send this to Tara tomorrow, and then, yeah, she will, depending on sort of how busy their agenda is, either next week or 2 weeks from now, but either way, we're not in a huge time crunch on this, so we should be fine. Cool, great, okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so the scoping study grant update, the update is really just still we're in a holding pattern. There will hopefully be some kind of small steering committee that will help to sort of manage the process, though it sounds like that'll probably get put together like after Tara writes an RFP and sends it out to a few people. Likely the BCRC will be the ones to help out on this, but yeah, if any folks are interested in getting involved in that, we'll try to keep people updated when we start. Because yeah, it's a cool project. This would be looking at infrastructure improvements for sort of accessibility in like downtown center. Any other things you want to add to that, Tom? I feel like there wasn't a whole heck of a lot. Okay. I have a little update on this town inventory project. I had a really great meeting with Sam Page. We're still doing a little bit of back and forth, but we really we have everything on a map now. So that's a really big step in the right direction. And I'm hoping in the next month or so, we'll be able to get at least some kind of prototype of this going so that people can start looking at it. Yeah, before we do that, I'll bring it to the Conservation Commission and we can all kind of take a look at it and give kind of comments and everything. So yeah, it's still moving. We're still paying attention to it. What we're really working on is trying to figure out a way to make sure that as we have new things, they can get updated easily, so that we can kind of make changes if we need to. Okay, any other, anyone else want to do updates? I wasn't sure if you had an update, so I didn't want to put you on there if you didn't.
I opened up a giant can of worms in my project.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
So with it being hunting season, I can't do much down at Clayton Park right now. I dove into the bat house that I'm really interested in getting going at both parks. And it opened up a gigantic can of worms. So I didn't know that Vermont was having a bad problem to the point where we have 9 species of bats in Vermont, 6 are on the endangered list. Fish and Wildlife is asking for volunteers to help with their migration checks and to do a control population checkup on them. So I'd really like to get more bat houses in Powell, one another, just 2 parks. So for the fundraiser that I'm working on, trying to get off the ground, I would like to make a big focus for that for supplies for bat houses, so we can get them out and around the entire town. Wow.
Is,
That's awesome.
do you know, is it what was that, the white face?
White nose syndrome,
White nose.
WNS, that's the fungal system that's a horrible disease that I've read about and I've watched all kinds of videos on it too.
So
Vermont,
that's still a big problem.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I'm going to be contacting the Vermont Bat Center and Vermont Fish and Wildlife. They do educational presentations.
Cool.
See if we can get something like that in town so that people can actually, I can bring this problem to Powell's focus so the residents can actually get involved in this and help out as much as they can.
Yep. That's awesome.
Is that houses help somehow?
Bat houses, you can do a population check on and report it directly to Fish and Wildlife. And Alyssa Bennett is the small mammal biologist specializing in bats for Vermont. She's the one that's heading up this entire project. So she'll probably be one of my contact people.
You like will turn the back out or is there like a little?
Oh, you actually, not early in the season, they don't recommend it, but later in the season, you can actually take a high power flashlight, count bats in there. Guano check at the bottom of the house. You gotta go up. They're flat houses. You can get them anywhere from 3 to 6 inches, or we can build them anyway. You can have more than one board on the inside that actually has them. But you can actually, some people take big plastic bowls at the bottom and catch all the guano that the bats drop while they're sleeping. And they can do an investigation on the guano itself too.
Wow. Cool. That's awesome.
Boxes.
Yeah, this is great. And like there's opportunities to bring like the school into the process if we want to. And yeah, what a great thing to like bring to the community. So yeah, that sounds awesome. Keep on kind of going down that route.
I'm doing my winter time project while I wait for clay to thaw out. So
That's great. And yeah, you know, if you wanted to, similarly like this, the climate resilience thing, the you know, the forest management plan thing, like if you want to invite an expert to come down and give a talk, like one option for that is that Concom can host a meeting, a special meeting here, or we can just have it happen in one of our meetings and we invite the public. The library has also been really good to meet, like they've let me open up the library after hours to have like groups down there. So like with advance notice, we could have down the library too. So there are places in town where we could definitely like help to host something like that and sort of promote it too.
Okay.
Cool. Great, man. So any action items that you want us to help with or anything like that, or do you feel like you want?
Right now it's touch and go and trying to get all my ducks in a row with contacting people, but I feel like I'm heading in a good direction, Chris.
Well,
I was gonna say, if you reach out to Home Depot, they might, or even like Chris, you want to donate.
Yeah.
I tried getting stuff from Home Depot and they have like a very convoluted, you know, go through corporate, whatever.
Well, we have local sawmills right in town.
Yeah, but like and I've had really good luck with the local places and getting them to donate, you know, equipment rentals and whatever else. So yeah, I think asking the local places for lumber is probably a great idea for getting some donations.
You don't need anything special, do you, for special wood or anything?
It's not pressure to
Cedar is mostly the best one because it's natural and insect repellent. The big thing about houses is they have to keep lots out of them. So early in season, they do require seasonal maintenance beginning of the season and at the end of the season. That's only use them from April to October when they go into hibernation. So end of the year, take it down, clean it out, stick it right back up, repaint it. There's a whole maintenance schedule with that too, which I'll write up a whole big thing on.
That's great, man. I love it. All right.
Start a citizen scientists, group.
Vermont Bat Center.
this is great. You definitely have to send out a bat signal.
I think if our little town can get a big jump on this, we can inspire other towns throughout the whole county. There's a lot of these projects that they have listed are all upper Vermont, mid Vermont. There's nothing really going on in South Vermont for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the more we get Fish and Wildlife involved in our little town, the more they're going to I want to help out, so.
And this is exactly the kind of stuff that like draws attention to our little town and makes it look good, which is like a really important thing.
Maybe you should have a conversation at some point about standards.
Ooh, okay.
I'm down with everything.
I like this.
Cross the road and.
Yeah.
Oh, there's, it's so tragic and frogs too.
I love too. I live right next to Barbers Pond, so I'm always a throw guy catching them, throwing them back in the water, making sure they go on the right side of the road.
Cool. Well, yeah, I like this, and this is a great model for like one angle of how we could kind of do community involvement projects with Concom. Cool. Well, so then as long as there aren't any like objections or anything with Leonard kind of forging ahead on this.
Yeah, it's like, we can
It's your thing, dude. Yeah, you're doing great. Okay. Reports and updates on relevant town projects. So one of the things on here is this racetrack community thing and the letters, and yeah, do you want to speak to any of that, Tom? Well, yeah, so I sent around these two letters that we were gonna send out, and really the goal of this group, and Tom and I sort of outside of our capacity on the Conservation Commission are members of this group, is just to look at whether and what types of options might be available to the community, given that the racetrack's coming up for sale right now. So there's no specific plans, it's just like looking into like, could we buy it? How would that work? Could the state get involved? What could we turn it into? And it's really just been kind of building a coalition of people that are kind of interested in seeing something good happen there. So these letters, one of them is going to be kind of sent to our like local sort of politicians that might be able to have some influence on it, asking them to kind of help intervene on behalf of the state. And the other one is to the bank, asking them to delay this auction that's happening in early January, to give us some time to try and kind of get our ducks in a row, get some funding together, whatever, with the assumption that there aren't really going to be any interested bidders. This project is just like, it's such a liability in its current state. So since then, there's been a lot of back and forth about like how, yeah, like politically, how involved do we want to get? Like, we don't want to draw unnecessary heat on ourselves or this project, but also like if it's something we believe in, like we absolutely have every right to put our name to it. So Tom and I talked about it a little earlier, and I think where we kind of came to is like, we just wanted to bring it to the group and just, I mean, if you guys have read those letters, like, do you feel like that's something that's sort of in the realm of what the Concom should be supporting or potentially actually getting involved in? Like, do you feel comfortable putting sort of the Powell Conservation Commission as one of the signers on this letter? Because the other option is that Tom and I can put our names to it as individuals, and there's lots of other nonprofits and local politicians that are signing their name to this letter. So it's
What I mentioned is there's 3 commitments so far for nonprofits. Vermont Land Trust, Vermont River Conservancy, and the Housing Conservation. Vermont Housing and Conservation Commission. Bureau.
okay, and by BCRC too, right?
I only saw those 3.
Okay.
Wendy's, like those are solid, and she's waiting to hear back from others.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I think putting the commission on it rather than just individuals is gonna have a little more weight to it.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we should be, like, there's so much opportunity.
And this isn't a commitment for us to do anything. It's really just saying we support the idea that we should figure out what the options are. So I don't think we're making any promises we can't keep. I think the only potential risk really is a little blowback on me for putting the Concom's name on it from the select board or chair or whatever. And like, if you guys feel like this is an important thing, like I'm more than happy to take whatever heat that might cause. And I don't think it really will cause anything. So currently, like, we're the only ones that have been kind of brought into the loop on this, so.
It's in our purview kind of, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and also just because Tom and I sort of individually were, and this is, this one, Wendy came to the Concom meeting a few months ago, she's the one who's kind of orchestrating, so.
And we had a really good conversation, phone, Zoom, whatever, with some of the statewide organizations. And they were much more excited than we thought. None of them want to actually own it. It's a whole different thing, but they're like, we gotta find a way to do this, there's the river, there's fishing, there's. Possibly a put in for the boats, there's so many recreation, conservation. Kind of things that if we're done with it, that, it's just a question of who's gonna own this thing, even if it's zero money to buy it. You have that big grandstand liability, so we all kind of thought, we gotta ask the state to somehow get involved, to either manage the liability portion, because it's really them. It's, there's a lien.
But hasn't the
There's a
state
lien
managed?
because,
That's what it's like.
well, that's what I was about to say, that's the agency of public safety, whatever the proper name is. They had actually done an order 2 years ago saying. You gotta either knock that grandstand down to the current owners, or you gotta put a fence around it. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
They went to court, they won in court. So now the current owner is accruing $200 a day fines. So it's really the state that is putting the liability on the owner right now. To do something about the grandstand, and the owner, obviously. He's in default with his mortgage. So it's really the bank that's putting this thing on auction. So we're trying to say, well, wait a minute, the Star seems in the line, nobody wants the property. The state is the one that manages the liability. Let's work with our legislators to sort of get some meetings going. That's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
At this point, we don't really have a solid plan.
Okay, so the sense I'm getting is that everyone here feels pretty comfortable putting Concom's name on this. Okay, cool. Well, then I mean, I don't even think we can take a vote if you guys want to. Oh, I see a hand raised. Do you wanna? Are you guys cool taking a public comment that's related to this matter? We might as well, yeah.
David, you just have to unmute yourself.
Go ahead.
Says he's unmuted.
If you want to.
The volume on your computer's muted.
Oh, that could be it.
Yeah, there's no volume on it. Keep going down,
All the way,
bottom right. Yeah, there, all right, that one.
is that muted?
I don't know, I've never touched that, so I don't know.
Well, it's usually be on the sound bar next to it.
Oh, there you go.
I said. I don't know.
David, if you want to, you can type it into the chat and we'll probably be able to see it too, but we can't hear you.
See, this is the town's computer too, so I don't know.
It could be on his end too. I don't, who knows?
When you click on the audio button, there's
This one here,
nothing else, it just shows the
and I mean, it shows that the volume's all the way up.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, yeah, well, yeah, maybe keep an eye out just if anyone's typing it. Oh, is there something in the Q and A there? Maybe that's it. Well, yeah, so I agree with you that like, we can't like take an action without going to the select board. I don't know, Kate, do you have an impression on this? I mean, my feeling on this is that we don't need to ask the select board's permission to put our name on this thing, because we're not asking them to do anything and we're not doing anything ourselves.
I don't have enough knowledge of that to answer really,
Okay.
This is the extent of, like, I don't come to town hall because I work.
Fair enough, yeah,
Okay,
like we're seeing outside.
anything like legal like that,
Okay.
I would ask
Well, it's
Tara or Hannah
advisory.
just for,
Mhm. Okay, well, yeah, so
Margaret's on.
oh, Mark's on, cool. So yeah, I can ask Tara, and Well, yeah, I mean, if it comes down to it, like, we ultimately can make a decision regardless of what Tara tells us.
So how do you make a motion
But I
that
don't wanna like
take a vote, put our names on this contingent on a discussion with Tara and or Michael Gardner? I mean, I know Woody's already talked to Michael Gardner, he knows all about it, but just to make sure.
Okay.
And then we can approve something. But, you know, nobody can push a button until we
Yeah.
double check.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to run, and I can even send the letters to Tara and say, we're planning on writing,
Mhm.
just saying that we support this and make sure she feels like that's okay.
So we're added to an advice, a list of.
Yeah.
Yeah, just supporting the
Most
steps that
administrations that are asking the bank to delay 6 months up.
Shows that serious people are
Yeah.
Okay.
interested, you know?
And the select board is aware of that Wendy and the committee is coming.
Vaguely, Mike has had some conversations with people, Jeannie is aware that there's people discussing it, so like, they haven't been made aware in a formal way, which is one of the things that we were discussing with this whole thing, was just whether it made sense to go, just because we didn't want them to feel like we were trying to do anything behind their backs or anything like that. And where we came to was that maybe it wasn't, given that there are individuals that know about it, on the select board already, that we don't necessarily need to go to them because we don't have an ask specifically for them yet, in terms of like what we would need from them, because we don't really know what we're trying to do. I see Jim Post's hand is up too. Jim, we may not be able to hear you. You can give it a try if you want.
Even though it's not public comment yet, I'll mute it.
I don't know. I feel like it's helpful, like if people have comments about this, it's got to.
Hey, gentlemen, and ladies, hello, everyone, Jim Costas, North Mason Hill Road. Hey, just so you know, I've been very concerned with the racetrack and the lack of, any, stuff that's happening down there. So if there is any consolation or problem with the letter going to the state representatives or even to the bank, I may have kind of recommended that along the process that please use my name. I'd be more than willing to sign it. I think that the town just needs to be more involved with what's happening, and I'm just glad that you guys, maybe individually, maybe not as the Concom organization is concerned and wants to have something happen down there. So thank you very much, and we'll see what happens between now and January 7th.
Yep. Thanks, Jim. And David, just to speak to your point there, like I think, yeah, if we were gonna put our name to this, it would be very specifically the Town of Powell Conservation Commission, not like the Town of Powell. So I don't think we would be speaking for the select board, we would just be speaking on behalf of ourselves. So that doesn't necessarily mean that we can do it without going to them, but just to clarify sort of the intent there, it's not it's not the town they intend.
Jim has his hand raised again, you're gonna let him speak.
Sure.
The holiday.
But even so, if they do give you any pushback because of your organization putting your names on it, please feel free that there are many people in town. I would really just like to have their name put on it as a resident of Pownell, as an abutter of Pownell, and actually, I mean, everyone's concerned about that place, not just your organization. So I think even if it went with the people of Pownell are asking this, it would fly. Thanks.
Definitely, thanks. Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead and make sure it's okay with Tara. If it is, we'll put Concom on there, and if not, then we can all sort of. Yeah.
Could we have yes.
Mhm.
They have a petition. Have president sign. The company.
Yeah, so that was one thing that we thought about doing. The problem was just the timing, that like the only time we can bring town resolutions is like for town meeting day, which is in March. And because when the auction is happening, we were worried that we wouldn't have enough time. So if we can delay the sale, then maybe there's something to be done there. And that's definitely an option worth exploring. Yeah, it's a good idea. Because yeah, there may be a way to have sort of a simple resolution that's very generally agreeable to everybody, and that would definitely fix.
I think it would help if, we had something to share with the town, like, you know, our elected representatives are united in.
Yeah, right, this is the news of the
That okay, that we can proceed, you know. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, month, 2 months, we should have that.
You don't mean to interrupt, but Margaret, you have your hand up, you should be able to speak, I have you unmuted.
Okay, great. I'm sorry to join the meeting late. I was double booked. I think you're talking about the racetrack, and I was able to review the meeting materials in advance. And if it's appropriate to be caught up on this afterwards, I'm fine with that too. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to incur any legal liability or anything like that as a Concom for advancing this project, or personally, I don't know that I would have the bandwidth to contribute much to it if it were to go through as exciting as it is. So I just kind of want to understand like what the ability is of individual members to kind of make clear what their capacity is, and then also whether or not we would be creating any expectations, and have we kind of scoped those expectations to make sure we can follow through on them if we're making certain statements about what we will and won't be able to do, things like that. So I just wanted to make sure we weren't like unwittingly committing ourselves to something such that if for some reason we're not able to follow through on it, we end up with trouble in some form, the worst of which maybe is legal trouble.
Well, I think that was sort of the primary reason why we decided to kind of have this group exist separate from the Conservation Commission.
Okay.
So really, what we would be saying by putting our name to this isn't that we're going to do anything. It's just we support the idea of this separate group going off and doing some. It's just to kind
Okay.
of like the weight that our commission has as a commission. That's all. So yeah, I think. There may come a time where we want to think about whether we want to get more involved and sort of what the political implications would be. But for now, like we're strictly not getting involved beyond just saying we think it's a good idea to find out the option.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was very, very, very exciting. So I'm glad there's a group willing to take it on. I think that would be a generational win for the town. So
Yeah.
I'm very enthusiastic. I just didn't have the shoe leather or the or the army of lawyers to be able to do it myself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I guess our short version of that can be going to Tara and making sure she feels okay with it. But yeah, I think this is a pretty minimal commitment to do anything beyond just saying, yeah.
I just feel like there's some time urgency around it because we need to.
Yeah.
Pause.
Well, yeah, so I guess maybe let's do a quick vote, just, contingent on Tara saying that she thinks it's okay and we're not gonna cause any problems. We'll go ahead and sign this up.
Yeah, and let's be clear, are we talking about, I thought we were talking about just the letters to the bank, are we talking about both letters?
I assumed we were talking about both letters, but if you think it makes sense to just do the letter to the bank, or I'm open to whatever. I think
both letters.
Yeah, I would feel fine putting Concom's name on any letter that Wendy thinks it might have some weight, really,
Yeah. I mean, the way I think about it, what we're liable for is we're asking for the bank for delay. Not sure I see any legal liability. We're asking for a meeting with the legislators. I mean, that's it. Really.
Yeah, well, and also that we is not like this we, it's like a separate we, so we're sort of a whole generation removed from it.
You're supporting the people.
We're behind.
Yeah, and so this isn't a commitment for any of us to put any bandwidth beyond this discussion we're having right now towards this, unless we want to, and if we do, it's any of us can join this other group also without any implications, So yeah, we got lots of options. Okay, so do you want to just?
Yeah, so I'm making a motion that the Pownell Conservation Commission be listed as one of the groups on both these letters. One to the bank, one to the elected local officials. That's it. I mean, contingent on Tara Parks saying, yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and maybe you could send around the language that kind of introduces like the list that our name is on, just so we can see exactly how that's worded. But yes, I think that was one point of clarification for me, which is that we're not the we. I think I didn't understand that. I thought we were the we, and I was like, wow.
We decided not to be the we on this one, yep.
Okay, great. But yeah,
Mhm.
if it's like, a list of organizations in support of a positive future for the racetrack or whatever, then sure. Yeah, I'm happy.
I mean, I think that is essentially what it is at this point, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, but if it was like this letter is signed by all these people, then I don't want to be implicated in the we. But it sounds like you're on it, so thank you.
For sure. Okay,
Well, I mean, that brings up a question. Has everybody seen the letters? Are you okay with how it's worded? Is there any worry that by signing it, we're making you think that, Margaret, that we are the group? I mean, might as well just be honest.
I guess I didn't see it. I can look again, but I don't think I saw a distinction between who was signing the letter and then like organization, like how you would characterize non-signatories who are supportive. So I think maybe just like very clearly separating who the we is from who the fans of the we are. I think that would be
Yeah,
good.
that's a good point. So it's gonna have to be edited. So should we revisit this somehow or just circulate it by email? You know, with that kind of language?
This is in the first paragraph. We are a group of fellow Vermont residents, local elected officials, and leaders of statewide conservation groups interested in the property called Hula. So it has, all of those different elements.
Well, yeah, I think given that Tom and I are sort of two of the people that are sort of involved in this project, like, if the distinction is just making sure that sort of like, here are the people who signed it individually, and like, this is the group of organizations that are in support of this, right? So like,
Add that on to the.
well, yeah, so I mean, it could just be kind of two separate sections, right? Because I think we do want to highlight specifically, like, these are the organizations, and then here's all these other signatures too. So yeah, I mean, I think we have enough influence over that. I feel comfortable that we can make sure that intent that we're talking about here is sort of carried through with the final result that goes out.
To make it the same.
Okay. Okay, so with that distinction pending, Tara feeling okay about this? I mean, feel free to say your piece. Like, I tend to go to Tara just because I feel like she has a pretty good idea of sort of how the select board would feel about something without having to like try and get in touch with Mike Arlen or whatever, you know.
It just sounds like she's the mayor.
Well, yeah, I want to ask your advice, and I mean, there may be situations where we get advice and we choose not to take it. Like, there are some situations where that may arise, but in general, like, I trust Tara a lot. I really personally trust her a lot to kind of give us good direction on that. Okay, so everyone feel okay with that? Can I have a second to Tom's motion? All right, meeting seconds. All in favor with these contingencies that we just talked about? Aye. Okay, great.
Oh, wait, I heard her, yeah, yes, she said.
Okay, cool. So, all right, that was great combo, and we will move on and try and get through the rest of the stuff. I'll give a super quick update about this town forest integrated management plan. And this will include this thing I added to the agenda. So, Tessa McGann, our county forester, Jennifer, and I gave a presentation to the select board last week. It was mostly to give them a very basic overview of the stuff we thought was important and get their feedback on the plan, because we sent it to them ahead of time. Generally, the feedback is really good. There are a few little changes, but no major substantive changes. I don't think there's anything that happened of major concern. There was more talk of logging, but I trust that like Tessa is the one who's going to be designing this plan, and she is very much on the same page with us about sort of the priorities, making sure we're not getting in the way of people being able to enjoy other types of recreation there while it's happening. So if it happens, it will likely be many years down the line. I don't think it will really affect what we're doing. And yeah, the only other thing that came out of that was that we want to have one more public input session, which the Concom is going to host. So luckily, the one thing we can do by email outside of meetings is schedule meetings. So tentatively, let's plan on doing either a special meeting or delaying our January meeting. And people can look at their calendars and see, I don't know if that I don't wanna put a burden of a second meeting on people if we don't need to.
So when you say special, then we got two.
Yeah, we'd have like our normal Concom meeting, which would be like, I think the 13th or something like that, and then we could have a special meeting, which we would just need a quorum of us to show up to. That would just be this presentation and getting feedback from the public.
We should have two.
You think we should go for 2? Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, cool. Well, so then, do you guys want to look at the calendar really quickly and just see if we can like get a tentative date on there? It's, geez. You know what, let me send an email around because I want to figure out, I know like a lot of other committees have meetings on regular dates and I'm not sure when they are. So let me make sure that we can work around, I'll try and do it on a Tuesday if that works for people, just to kind of stay consistent.
So I will say, if you're gonna do a Tuesday, the fourth Tuesday of the month, there's no meetings. To my knowledge, unless something special comes up, because planning does the first and third. And you and Parks and Rec do the second, so the fourth Tuesday of the month is open.
Would you be okay coming to?
I'm fine with that, I don't know if there's any special way of doing that through the council, if you give me a date, I'll double check with Hannah and Tara that I can schedule that and we'll go from there.
And if not, like, I can take the minutes for that one.
Yes, yeah, I'm open,
Okay, so this would be, so we're looking at probably, let's see, January 27th. And do you think, like, for getting maximum number of like people to come out, do you think 7 o'clock gives people time to like get their kids home from school, make food, do whatever they need to do, and then like make a turnaround and come back out?
So our regular meeting is on the 20th?
No, the regular meeting will be the 13th, the second
the 13th,
Tuesday,
okay.
and then the 27th will be the special Concom meeting. Awesome. So I will double check that all of the powers that be and make sure it's full. And then we can confirm it for everybody before the next meeting. Cool. Okay.
The thing that came up, I think, at that, that I noticed that that was, just a question too, was, about what, I think the original, proposal was, hunting for deer and hunting. For
It was like deer and turkey.
turkey,
Mhm.
and then, people were saying it's a like small game also.
Mhm.
That's-
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
people were saying, you know, it's out of that time, that's what they started with, so.
Totally.
Just bringing.
No, good call.
Adjustment that they were asking for.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about the hunting seasons to know sort of how that would affect things, because yeah, I mean, this is our guy right here, right? So yeah, because we just want to make sure that anytime there could theoretically be hunting taking place in the town forest, we want to make sure to alert people to wear high-vis clothing, which is not a big deal. So
Just wait to cover that as October 1st to the end of December.
oh, okay. So really like that October to December kind of covers all of the hunting
Yes,
season.
that's archery, early muzzleloader, regular rifle season, and muzzleloader.
And that's a variety of animals throughout that
It's
time.
mostly deer and bear, but
So what about like the smaller game and stuff?
usually start in September.
Usually starts in September. Okay, so
So there's an early bear season too, but.
okay. So yeah, we can look at when the hunting seasons are, and maybe we just, yeah, for like the fall season, we tell people that there'll be folks hunting out there. Any other updates from any other random, committee meetings that people went to, or any other sort of important stuff happening that's Concom related at all?
Just a little good news, in talking to Don Campbell from the Vermont Land Trust, he convinced Williams College to buy one of our bogs in Powell.
Really? Was it the one up on Old Military Road?
Well, yes, I think it's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I mean, he somehow was really anxious to save it, like it's special, from the wildlife or the plants or whatever, so, twisted some arms and got Williams College to buy it.
That's awesome.
I think it's 10 acres or 20 acres.
You're on full military?
Well, I don't know if
I'll
it's,
try to get some more information.
if it's the property, I'm thinking, yeah, well, we can talk after the meeting. I have a guess, but I'm not sure if it's right or not, yeah.
I remember I saw in the the old town plan, the one that's still working until they get the new one. But they had identified like somewhere near there, a bond that they was high risk or something for
Mhm.
development that it would impact, so maybe that's what he's talking about.
Cool. Well, yeah, let's, I mean, yeah, definitely good to stay updated on what's going on there, and, yeah, maybe there are some cool ways eventually we kind of interface with Williams College or whatever, and kind of help. Awesome. Okay, new business, so I sent up this green update
I do have,
recommendation.
um, I do have one update from a to-do item that I had last time, so I guess it goes with the old business. We had talked about the Conservation Commission trying to better understand what role it might play in the draft of the town plan, and maybe having Jens Hilke from the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department talk to us a little bit about how conservation commissions can participate in the town plan drafting and work with the planning commission on that. And so my takeaway was to write to Jens and see if he would come to speak to our groups possibly together. And he's thrilled to do it. He's very flexible. He, you know, we would just have to give him some sense of when we would like that to happen. But he was like, evening, day, online, in person, just let me know. So I think he's very excited to do that. I think it would also be nice once we have that to put together kind of some initial questions we might have, or give him some kind of context or briefing such that we can make the most of his time. But anyway, he'll await our response in terms of when we'd like to have him engage, but he's happy to be a resource.
Awesome. I feel like it would be really beneficial to try and do that meeting with the planning committee at least, and maybe some others as well. So maybe we can try and talk. I know planning meets twice a month, so maybe they would be willing to give up one of their meetings and we could show up to that one or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think probably in the next couple of months we should try and do it. I think, you know, these guys are working furiously on the town plan as we speak, so the sooner the better. So yeah, maybe like Margaret, do you want to just maybe reach out to like, maybe planning commission, someone on the select board, I don't know, like a few committees that you think might be interested in, and just like, I don't know, pitch a date or see if one of them wants to have it at their meeting or something, or I don't know, what do you guys think is the best way to move forward on this?
I can start with the planning commission and maybe copy Tara and kind of get their views on like what in general, based on where they are with the plan, like how soon they recommend we have this conversation, and then we can pull in some other people.
Okay, that sounds great.
So maybe I would write to David.
I think reaching out to David is a good place to start. And
because he was there when we talked about this last month, so he kind of knows that this is happening. So okay, great.
For sure. Okay, cool. Thanks, Margaret. Okay. So this green update recommendation, so this is something that David actually initially suggested. The idea, hopefully you guys read this thing, but the broad strokes are basically that we want to try and put a group of volunteers together to try and help offer some trash cleanup services to people who may not be physically, financially, whatever, able to take advantage of Green Up Day on their own. So what, sort of essentially what the recommendation is doing is asking sort of for permission and support from the select board for Concom and planning to some extent to get involved in just trying to raise awareness about this, soliciting volunteers, and just doing a little bit of the planning on, and also some of the outreach to try and find like who we might be able to help, who needs help.
So there's a lot of stuff to cover. I was just thinking that you're going to need probably a couple of those garden disposal. Dumpster.
Well, so we're the goal is to raise some money within the community to pay for exactly that kind of thing. Basically, it would be like dumpsters and someone to haul the dumpsters to the dump. And then, you know, Tom at the transfer station said, you know, that they're happy to like take some stuff that isn't strictly on that list of things. We make some exceptions that day if it's like people who like really need help. So,
Is there gonna be a group or a panel deciding who gets help and who doesn't? Because I think it's gonna open up a giant can of worms.
well, yeah, so there was some thinking and discussion about sort of trying to kind of set some requirements for sort of what would make you eligible for this sort of thing. And honestly, we were expecting that likely we will not get a whole lot of people this first year out. Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome if it did, and if it does, then like that's a great indicator that we need to think about doing this in a more sort of regular way. Yeah, so like if you're interested in getting involved and like helping us sort of figure out how we set those requirements, like that's exactly the kind of thing we still need to figure out.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just in a very general sense, it's just trying to figure out some sort of way to sort of expand Green Up Day to just have a little bit of a sort of volunteer community building element and like helping out some folks in the community that just are like overburdened with whatever and can't handle it all.
Yeah, we should clarify, in the letter, it says, in addition, property owners participating in the 2026 Up the Green Up will not be eligible to participate in the Hope for 2027 event, hopefully encouraging them to better maintain their property. Does that just mean like if we clean up your place in 2026, we're not also gonna clean it up in 2027?
Yeah, I mean, it was, the goal was just to make sure that we were kind of spreading any volunteer help around as much as we could. So yeah, if we help you 1 year, we're going to try and help other people the next year, of course. Yeah.
I didn't really understand.
Yeah, I think we should. put it-
Does this go to property owners or does it go to?
There wasn't any discussion specifically on that. It was just trying to like, I think really the approach, like one of the approaches I was thinking might be useful is like, I talked with Pastor Jason over at the church, right? Because they're super involved. They're working on buying the Berwick Trailer Park right now, but like they're really deeply embedded in the community of like vulnerable people that like have, you know, like issues finding food or shelter or whatever. So we're hoping that like we can reach out to people that we know have already made inroads with these vulnerable like populations that are going to need the help. And so they can kind of do some of that work for us of helping us identify like where this need is and like who specifically should sort of get this help. So it's not a fully formed idea, and it will require kind of a group of people to put their heads together. Yeah. But the idea is this letter is just kind of the beginning. Well, so the purpose of this is to go to the select board because like there is a potential for committees and commissions to get more involved in this one. And we can make a decision like, is this something that we as a conservation commission want to spend our energy on or not? I think it's a cool thing. And like, if all we're committing to is just us showing up and doing a little bit of traffic pickup, like I'm fine with that. But also if there's anybody who's passionate about it, I'm sure like they could use, you know, as much sort of help and suggestions and whatever as they can get. So yeah, it's really up to us kind of how involved we want to
Do we
go.
have any sense of folks who were looking for the help or we're just assuming?
Well, you know, just some, and David, if you want to speak on this, it looks like maybe you are. Goal here is to get Concom and Planning Commission support as a precursor to sending the idea to the select board. Oh, okay, so really, yeah, so it's like, really, we don't even necessarily need to, it sounds like, if I'm reading this right, like we don't even necessarily need to take a vote to send something to the select board yet. This is more just to get kind of buy-in within our commission that this is something that we would theoretically be into supporting. So, you know, I mean, I'm willing to put some volunteer time towards like actually doing cleanup.
We can also wait and see what the volunteer effort looks like before we say, you know, whose property we're cleaning up or if we're able to clean up any. We've got people, we can be like, okay, coming over to one person's up.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I think, at this, it sounds like at this juncture, we don't necessarily need to like send this recommendation all the way up to the select board. It's more just making sure that we all feel like this is a worthwhile thing to do. And then similarly, like we will be sort of listed as a group that supports this project when it goes to the select board.
I just, there was a person on the planning commission who had a really sensitive approach to I think he was he zoning administrator or something at that point, I don't know, but I don't wanna name names, but he was, you know, I think that this is a situation where you really want to be careful of how you approach people, because a lot of people, you know, when man's jump at me. And a lot of people feel that very defensive about the property. And, you know, it can go sour very easily if you're not super
Probably was
careful with people's.
if they weren't interested.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's like we probably want to avoid, for that reason, we probably want to avoid targeting and soliciting specific individual people and more kind of making
Yeah, there.
it's raising awareness, making sure that people who might need it know that there is help available. And you're right, and that's something that we discussed a lot.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Uh,
Yeah, because, you know, I know a lot of people are just really shy about asking for help too.
for sure. And we really want to be.
And they don't feel like their homes are shocking, they don't feel that way. They don't realize,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, yeah,
She like, calming is expensive.
I know, it's expensive.
I paid a guy to come to my house and pick up, you know, a pile of trash, it was like $500.
I know, it's,
You know, he was there and gone in 10 minutes, but,
Yeah.
you know, like, and it wasn't even on the stop. That's
Yeah.
what, you know, and this is just put from, like, we were not. Like recently, and, you know, so, I think for a lot of people, it's like, it's not necessarily their trash to it, they just don't know what to do with it. And,
Yeah.
you know, so
Well,
it
it's
looks
a
like,
combination.
I mean, there are people that are very attached to their things, but.
It's a
I
combination.
mean, ideally, they wouldn't be asking us for help. Or plus, or plus, yes.
People are, yeah. I have personal experience with a hoarder and they're very, you know, they freak out at everything you put in the garbage. Everything.
But also I would also say, and I don't. Maybe this is kind of more of a needs a little bit, but I wouldn't do it unless like you have specific permission from the owner of the property.
Yeah, and so.
I was getting in it.
So a lot of the discussion at this meeting was making sure that there aren't any liability issues, and so yeah, sorry, a little scramble here, yeah, so this is another one where it's like, this can be a group of community members. There's a model for how to do this, because we did that cleanup at the spot over by Dollar General there. So the owner gave permission, there were liability forms signed, that sort of made sure that like the town wasn't gonna be held liable. Money was raised privately for the dumpsters and everything, and so, yeah, there's a system that we already used once that works, so the idea is to just try and kind of replicate that. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay, cool, well, so I guess unless my dad says something otherwise there, it sounds like for now, like, as long as we're sort of aware that this is happening, then like when this group is ready to go to the select board and sort of tell them about this and try and get their buy-in, we can then decide if we want to kind of throw our weight behind that and send a recommendation along with it.
So I was thinking that since, you know, Tom Shuey has already brought into this, that would be a place to, well, I guess people don't even get to the dump, I guess, if they're too old.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big piece of it, is just physically moving the trash from one
Where do
place to another.
you put the notice is my question, you know, where do people?
Well, yeah, Yes, and that's a question that I think as a group.
It would be great if you could, someone could stand up at the town meeting, for example.
Mhm, mhm.
And say, you know, we're here and we're gonna do this and we have some money and, you can sign up somewhere privately.
Okay, well, so, all great ideas, and I will keep you guys in the loop about when these meetings are happening, so like, if you wanna contribute these ideas, there's a good avenue to do that, and for the time being. I think we'll just kind of leave it where it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, and now just with my brain on scrambling, yeah, the purpose of me writing that letter was really just to convince you guys that this is a good project to do, and we don't use sense. Okay, in the interest of time, I want to forward ahead really quick here, I am going to make a motion to dissolve all of the subcommittees that we created over the course of the last couple of months. None of them have had any meetings or anything like that. This is in response to just sort of learning more about open meeting law and how it works. So this doesn't change anything we're doing. Everybody is still spearheading the projects they're spearheading. They're just a point person and not a subcommittee member. So yeah, the only other implication of that, and I don't fully understand this clearly, is how and whether we can bring community members in to help with those projects and sort of what capacity they can help in, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. So I'm going to make a motion to dissolve the subcommittees that were created up until this point, and it's just procedural, nothing else changes. Okay. All right, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye, great, okay,
Aye.
good. Last thing, super quick. The last 2 years, Margaret has very kindly donated the money to renew our ABCC, Association of Vermont Conservation Commission's membership.
Thank you, Margaret.
Which is very nice of her.
How much is it?
I think it's $50. I am willing to donate the $50, but also I think we could probably write a note to the select board and ask them for $50 to sign up with us.
Nate, I'm happy to just pay it again. No problem. I'll do it tonight.
Well, I don't know when the date to do it is, Margaret, but like I don't want to set a precedent of us paying for it because I think this is a really valuable thing and it's so little money. Like if we have the time to ask the select board, I think it makes sense to send a recommendation to them to give us some money. And then if they say no, then I'll split the cost with you or something.
That sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah, and I
cool.
think they have so many great resources, and if you're not on their listserv is amazing, but it also entitles us to apply for a tiny grant, and we ran out of time for that this year, but we could contemplate that for next year. And it's also great, you can see who's gotten the grants in the past, and that can inspire us in terms of some of the successful projects for other commissions. So yeah, keep me posted. Happy to be Plan B if the town doesn't pay for it.
Cool, great. Thanks, Margaret. All right, anything else? No? Awesome. Thank you guys. I'm impressed that we managed to make it through all the stuff and covered a ton of ground. So with public comment.
Like no hands up.
Love it. Okay, thank you everyone for your for coming and for your comments. Thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna see the motion to adjourn.
Another great meeting. Thanks,
favor?
guys.
Aye.
Aye.
Great. All right, there we go. Thanks, guys.